Henshin Inspection presents Going Ultra! This is MJ. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an analyzer. Find all my work at mjmunoz.com. Welcome to Going Ultra. Visit mjmunoz.com/gu for notes and links. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment to help me grow. SSSS.Dynazenon, episode 12. Originally aired June 18th, 2021. It was entitled, What Was I Entrusted With? The title of my analysis is Irreplaceable Bonds. This is Going Ultra, episode 30. The writer for this episode is Keiichi Hasegawa. The director is unknown to me at this moment. Hopefully it'll be in the show notes, but maybe it won't be because the wiki I've been looking at hasn't had it the last few episodes. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the static. I would have appreciated more time after the time jump. I think there was about 10 minutes. I don't know, it could have been 4 or 5 at the most. Yeah, it actually felt like more like 4 or 5. I would have loved for them to dwell a little bit more on the lives of the Dynazenon 4 who are left after everything that happened, because I'm really invested in these characters. I want to know what's going on with them. But something that bothered me, that was a bigger static issue, is that there was really no resolution of the princess. I liked Gauma was like, yeah, I didn't come back after 5,000 years to have an easy time and live an easy life. I'm here to do whatever. And he wanted to basically die for the sake of Koyomi. I guess Chise to a smaller extent, but I mean the whole world. But he was fighting for at the end there before he died, or whatever happened to him, which we'll talk about later, for Koyomi, Yume, and Yomogi. So I don't know, it's a little hard to tell what was going on, but his story is unfinished, and I don't like that. I'm just kind of not okay with it. There was a real resolution at the end of SSSS.Gridman, and it's a little lacking here, honestly, even though I like what happened here. So anyway, moving on to the Sizzle. Sizumu's kaiju growing and changing by eating the others was so cool. It's the culmination of a theme the show has been building up over time. The rapid cycling through of combinations to beat the combined might of Sizumu and the others was awesome to behold. I really loved it. I actually watched this with my family and my kids. I can't remember who it was, but they were wowed by the combination changes. One of them said, does this robot just keep getting better and better? And I said, yes, this giant robot does just keep getting better and better. Because it was super dope. And the funny thing is they started it off with the, Grid Knight Kaiser, blah, 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 the, most epic form or whatever, with his majestic cape and all that. But, they kind of left that alone and then went back to it and cycled through, and that was all really exciting stuff to see. Anyway, the visuals of the fighting were really cool, and I really loved all that stuff. So, yeah, moving on to the soul. Koyomi talking about how the situation is the same as he's running towards the danger, but he had changed is so strong. I talked about that a few episodes back, not just with Koyomi, but with everybody, basically. But seeing that spelled out by him was really cool. Having the time jump drive that home was even more exciting. Yume and Yomogi having their scars, and their little exchange about it was so great. I love the themes of change and growth in the show. They're inspiring without being preachy. I think it's very well done. It's interesting. I believe it's summer, which is when the summer festival happens. I don't know what kind of summer vacation they get in Japan, but I noticed she's not wearing her armband, so that's an issue of change with her, but she's got that dragon tattoo or whatever that, I don't know how a little kid has a tattoo, but whatever. Maybe that's part of the larger thing with why she's not in school and was bullied and whatever, but maybe we'll find that. Who knows? Maybe, well, I've got to add something to my speculation ad hoc, but I would have loved to see more with her, and I'm not sure what her change was, other than she's physically just not wearing that thing. But she still seems to be a little bit of a bratty kid, but, it's hard to tell how old she's supposed to be. I'm just going to be frankly brutal. She feels like she's lollybait to me, but then again, she has no curves, really, except for when it's convenient, when she was in bed and Goldburn appeared first, and she was, kind of shocked. There looked to be, curvature of breasts. But, I believe in the way things lollies are done, it's they have those sorts of physical features when it's convenient for them to have them, and then they go away when they're not, to maintain the childish aesthetic or whatever, which again is a thing I don't really get. So anyway, moving on from that, we could have seen more with her, and that goes back to my complaint. We could have seen more with her. We could have seen more with Koyomi. I was shocked. I was thinking, who is that guy? And I even said out loud, I don't know who that guy is. And then I realized, oh, that's Koyomi not being a NEET anymore. He trimmed his hair. He's in a suit instead of his, athleisure wear. And the guy's, trying to get things done. This is not really in my notes, but I'll say it anyway. I love the fact that Tachibana-san is the one who got him a job after he failed 21 interviews. I'm just so tickled by that. But it's cool because, he saved his life, right? You guys remember this? He saved Tachibana's life, even though he kind of didn't want to, because he thought, oh, this guy was dead. And, Tachibana kept calling him, Yamato, and all these other names that weren't his name, as opposed to Koyomi. When they were out together with his wife, Yomogi senpai, whatever, at the convenience store. Anyway, I can never remember her name for some reason. Anyway, I really liked that, he ended up saving him, and there was that big character moment where he didn't run away from something. And then we had that kind of echoed in the episode with the memories the other day, or, previously. And then, we get to see him being actively heroic and, taking his most big steps of, he's running towards people to save stuff, and he hops into, I can't remember what I want to call it Dyna-Racer, but I know that's not what it is. But anyway, I loved it. I loved seeing the change in them. And, I guess each of those four characters has a physical change to them. Yomogi and Minami have their scars, which, anyway, her scar being on her thigh, it's very convenient for, showing off those legs, some people like to do. And I mean the animators, not the characters or people themselves. But anyway, anyway, her having the scar there, and Yomogi having a scar on his hand, and then Chise removing the sleeve so you can see the tattoo or whatever she's got on her arm, and then Koyomi's hair being different now. I really love how they're how they have this physical change to them that's reflective of something deeper. And it goes back to the beginning of the series with scarred souls shine like stars. That was the SSSS at the beginning of this show, supposedly, and I talked about these being damaged and messed up people before. And, we definitely got to see that, but despite their damage, not because of it, but despite their damage and holding on and toughing it out, they're able to be, these heroes who save their world, which, I'm going to move on to speculation now. I think Gauma's still alive, and he will be part of the Grid Knight Alliance in the next series. I'm going to say by how different Knight looks from, Anti, I'm going to say it's been 5 years, or 6, it's definitely not been 2 years. I think it's been closer to 6 years. Also, the second, Anastasia the second looked like a little girl, and, this looks like a young woman, who's, developed and whatnot. She's much taller, so is Auntie. I definitely think that these characters are supposed to be, a good amount of years older. So, with that, I'm gonna spin this into my next section next bit of speculation, also not in my notes, which is that, Chise may be involved with the Grid Knight, the Dynazenon Gridman crossover, whatever, the third installment in the SSSS.Gridman universe, and I would love to see that. I'd love to see her aged up and see her mature see her mature a little bit, still have some room to grow, so we get to see more of an arc from her. Because, I asked if she was a fifth wheel before, and I said I didn't think she was. She did have utility, but, a fifth wheel can have utility in in physicality, in real life. But her being a fifth wheel, socially or by the story, maybe she was. But she doesn't have to be. And the fact that she had that connection with Goldburn is really cool. I have affection for Goldburn, and it's been around for 2 or 3 episodes. And the whole thing with her yelling to him, I love you, and you're my best friend, and all this stuff as he's going away, just hit so many good chords, and it was such a great emotional impact that I'd love to see her come back and maybe see a development or evolution of Goldberg where she is able to pilot him finally, and perhaps even a deeper connection with him. So that gets me on to my next bit of speculation. What is this world that they are in? And who are all these worlds connected to? I have a confession to make. I found on a certain website all 40 episodes or 50 episodes or whatever it was of Super Samurai Cyber Squad, and I watched the first episode of it. First of all, it charmed me. I don't know why, but it did. And I'm actually going to, as an addendum to Going Ultra, I'm going to talk about that show soon. I got to catch up on my on my Ultraman Z first, and then I'm going to come back in a little while, and I'm going to ask you if you've been checking out these SSSS.Dynazenon analyses that I've been doing. Come back for me talking about Cyber Squad, because there's some interesting stuff there that I'd like to discuss, and I think it'll be fun. So anyway, but they talk about in that show that there's this whole digital world created by the fact that there are computers and electronic devices and stuff, and there's this whole parallel world. And we got to see that with Akane Shinjo, that from SSSS.Gridman, that she was this person who had an awakening into the real world at the end of that series. Sorry, big spoilers for SSSS.Gridman, but you should have watched it already, right? But still, it's so worth it to go back and see the whole thing. But she had an awakening, and she woke up from her dream and had to face her world on her own. So my question is, with all the damage that was happening in this show, are they on the grid somehow, like her little town was, or her little section of Tokyo or whatever, in her dream? Is this someone else's dream that they're having? Or all these all real people? Because they never went back to talking about the moral implications of all these people being dead. And then again, if Yomogi is the mummy from episode 18 of the Hyper Agent Gridman, or Gridman the Hyper Agent, whichever it's called, what does that mean? Not Yomogi, of course. I mean Gauma. Although it was funny that he was dressed up as a mummy at the end there. So maybe, I don't know what that means. Is he somehow taking over the role that Gauma served? Who knows? It could have just been to be cute and funny. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Is he an actual mummy from 5,000 years ago? And is all this happening somewhere in a computer? I couldn't really say. I like the fact that there's different worlds. It almost makes me think of, like, maybe different servers have different, digital worlds with people on them that need help or having issues. But I don't know. I'm wondering if we'll even get more into the nature of kaiju and what they are, even though they're, supposedly not understandable and they don't make any sense. They defy all logic. But I don't know. I want to know more what that means. And maybe it always needs to remain a mystery. Maybe it can be defined, but maybe that will or won't happen in season 3 or whatever they're going to call the next, Gridman Universe series. So anyway, I loved the show. It was fantastic. I got a little emotional at the end. I definitely got more emotional at the end of Gridman. But that's okay. It's not a crying contest. I don't need to cry more in one than in the other to really like it. I like both shows a lot, and I don't know. I don't really have much else to say, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up right about there. So, you know what? I totally forgot about the speculation section, or not the speculation, but the debate section. What do I have to say? What is the point of the kind of absolute freedom Sizumu advocates? That's my question. Now, I'm just going to tell you this. I gave this episode a 4 out of 5, not a 5 out of 5. As both an episode and the cap off of the series, it still leaves some questions, dangling, some threads dangling that I feel like should have been tied up. What's up with the princess? That's one big thing I want to know. And why no mention of the collateral damage? Koyomi and Chisei visit a school that's all wrecked, and it looks like it's going to be repaired at some point. But so it seems like it's real damage happening in a real world, and it's not just being fixed like with the absence abreaction, or instance abreaction rather, from Gridman. So I don't know what that means, and I really wonder if it means there's something deeper and more mystical going on. And part of the reason I brought up Super Samurai Cyber Squad is because the look of the grid, the look of the grid is like where they got inside of for the final battle in Gridman, and then where Sizumu and Yomogi were talking at the end of this episode. And we've glimpsed it before too. So like there is this grid reality that's going on, and I don't know what that means. I don't know where it is or what level it's on or anything like that. So that's all pretty interesting. But anyway, like I said, this was a good show. I think I already basically explained why it was good enough, and I just told you why I didn't like it. There's enough questions that are unanswered that I wasn't satisfied with how they weren't answered, and that bothered me. Also, I don't know. Something about that scene where Yomogi and Manami or Yume are walking on the bridge, and it just took so darn long. I don't know. I don't need Cinema Veritas. I'm watching anime, guys. I'm not watching, foreign films or whatever to get, real life in my stuff. But, I appreciate most of what. I don't know how many Studio Trigger shows I've seen, but I think of everything I've seen, I've always enjoyed it, and I've always liked how wacky and experimental they get from time to time. Of course, not that Studio Trigger is a monolith. It's made up of people, and it's those individual people who make the contributions and really matter as far as storyboarding and directing, and the kind of heart that they pour into the animation. Not that the writing and directing doesn't have anything to do with that, but it's all interrelated, and it's all it all matters. So I don't want to neglect that really. So anyway, going back to the question, what is the point of the kind of absolute freedom Sizumu advocates, where you're just like destroying everything? I don't know. To me, there is no point. Power only matters in so much as it is a tool, and all tools should be used for the flourishing of humankind. And what is the flourishing of humankind? That's a theological, metaphysical question you're going to have to answer on your own. I can't give you those answers. If you want, you can ask me, and I'll share with you. But I'm not going to spout at you and tell you what I think is the right way. But basically, you have to limit power. The one who has to limit power is you. And you have to do it because you can pretend to be turned on power, but like if you have all this power and you just destroy everything, then there's nothing left for you to do. There's no one left for you to interact with. And I don't know, what's the point of living at that point? You may as well just turn that. Well, I'm not going to say that. That doesn't make sense. If you think it through to its logical conclusion, all that freedom and all that power has to be used for some constructive purpose. Otherwise, that's wasted potential. If you can restrain yourself, I think that's true power. And I think if you can restrain yourself and restrain your own freedoms in certain areas, you'll be living a morally, not superior, but you'll be living a moral life. And I think there's more joy to be had out of that. And I think you and others around you will flourish in that. And I think that's the kind of, I think that's what you want ultimately. Some people want to wield their power and their freedom to lord it over others and take everything for themselves, but I don't think that's the effective way to do it. And I'm not arguing from a utilitarian standpoint that you should be kind and loving and generous and forgiving and all these, good moral things and be noble for the sake of having stuff. But it is a consequence that if you're, it's not ignoble, right? That's the wrong word. If you're the opposite of noble and you want to be a tyrant with your freedom and oppress others, then ultimately you're going to cause the destruction of everything, because that's an unsustainable cycle. It's an unsustainable system. It's like trying to feed yourself by eating rocks or drinking gasoline. Eventually it will kill you, even if it takes a while and it slowly degrades you. It'd be more like living off of Red Bull and Cheetos or something. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on all these sorts of things. So anyway, that's it. I'm gonna go and get out of here. Go ahead and stick around. Keep your eyes tuned. Keep your subscription thingies tuned to this feed for Going Ultra. I'm gonna be covering the rest of Ultraman Z next. Somewhere between now and the end of Z, I will put out that Cyber Squad episode. I'm just gonna, I think I'll watch like 2 or 3 more, and then I'll just talk about them generally, because I believe the whole SSSS part comes from the fact that they made that show, and Tsuburaya was in partnership with the producers of that show. I kind of think it was made on the ABC network as opposed to like Fox, so like Saban wasn't involved. It was a different thing. And anyway, ABC had weird shows like Reboot and not Secret World of Alex Mack, that was Nickelodeon. But they had like some weirder like adventure type shows that they ran as well. So I believe that was one of them. So Superhuman Samurai Squad. So anyway, yeah, come back for that. Check out Ava and the Glowbug. I'm still looking for an artist. I'm getting pretty desperate. I actually started storyboarding myself. I've got like 2 pages done. I need to work on more though. But as I've said in previous episodes, I'm busy building up the homestead over here. Been blessed enough to be able to have a spit of land that I can do some stuff to. So I got to keep working on them. That's my number one priority besides my family. It's securing all that stuff. So anyway, but yeah, Ava and the Glowbug, it's in the works. I've got other stories to go along with that. Children's picture books about inspired by Tokusatsu, inspired by Ultraman, specifically Ava and the Glowbug. But I'll probably do, or the plan is for the other 2 books to be inspired by Kamen Rider and Super Sentai, and we'll see how those turn out. So anyway, I'm going to do them for sure. The joy of the creation of the art makes me happy, and that's enough reason for me to do it. And I'm hoping that people will see the quality and the heart and appreciate what I'm doing, and be willing to participate in, help crowdfund, or just, if I get it all done on my own, they'd be willing to support it, and they might enjoy it. So anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. I'm going to remind you that you don't have to shout Henshin to be a hero. I'm going to leave you with peace and blessings, and that's pretty much it. So this is MJ signing out for now. Like I said, please come back later. I'll have fun stuff for you to check out with Superhuman Samurai Squad. I'll even drop show notes for it at some point to say, like, hey, if you want to watch it, it's over here. Go check it out.